वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 12th chapter, text number 15 to 18. Only the verses where purport is there, that one we will read it together, the rest I will read it myself. Text number 15, I will read it myself. इत्यादिष्टः स्वगुरुना भगवान् नीललोहिता सत्त्वाकृति स्वभावेन ससर्जात्मसमाप्रजा. Translation: The most powerful Rudra, whose bodily color was blue mixed with red, created many offsprings exactly resembling him in features, strength and furious nature. Text number 16. Rudranam rudrasrishtanam samantagrasataam jagat nishamya sankhya yasho yutan prajapatirashankatam. This has a very small purport. You can repeat it when I say, but individually we need not repeat it. Rudranam rudrasrishtanam samantagrasatam jagat nishamya sankhya asankhya shoyutan prajapatirashankata. Again translation. The sons and grandsons generated by Rudra were unlimited in number, and when they assembled together they attempted to devour the entire universe. When Brahma, the father of the living entities, saw this, he became afraid of the situation. Please repeat the translation. The sons and grandsons generated by Rudra were unlimited in number. And when they assembled together, they attempted to devour the entire universe. When Brahma, the father of the living entities, saw this, he became afraid of the situation. Purport. The generations of Rudra, the incarnation of anger, were so dangerous to the maintenance of universal affairs that even Brahma, the father of the living entities, became afraid of them. The so-called devotees or followers of Rudra are also a menace. They are sometimes dangerous even to Rudra himself. Descendants of Rudra sometimes make plans to kill Rudra. By the grace of Rudra, that is the nature of his devotees. Text 17. Alam prajabhi srishtabhi idrishivi surottama maya shahadan dahantivi dishaschakshuvi ulvanai. Translation. Brahma told Rudra, O best among the demigods, there is no need for you to generate living entities of this nature. They have begun to devastate everything on all sides with their fiery flames from their eyes, and they have even attacked me. Text 18. तप आतिष्ठ भद्रं ते सर्वभूतसुखावहम् तपसैव यथा पूर्वं सृष्टा विश्वम् इदं भवान्. Purport. In the creation, maintenance and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation, the three deities Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara or Shiva are respectively in charge. Rudra was advised not to destroy while the period of creation and maintenance was going on, but to situate himself in penance and wait for the time of dissolution when his services would be called for. Thus ends the Bhakti-Vedanta purport. Om Ajnana-Timirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namah Om Vishnupadaya Krishna-Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-Vedanta Swamin Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Very interesting verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So firstly, we should understand here when we are reading this, Brahma is creating this material universe. And when Lord Brahma is creating the material universe, lot of things have to be taught about, because material world will come with unlimited variegatedness of material personalities. So the three presiding personalities, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, they manage the various gunas. So Brahma manages personalities whose guna is Rajasic. Vishnu manages the personalities and activities which are Sattvic in nature. And Shiva manages the people and the activities which are Tamasic in nature. So being the case, Brahma is under the task, is executing the task of populating this universe with these different living entities who are in these three different modes of material nature. Personalities plus activities also. So in this regard, he has told Shiva, and Shiva has to populate this, being in charge of the mode of ignorance. Shiva has to populate this universe with those kind of entities. And he started carrying out his job. populating this universe with those kind of personalities. And just like here it is mentioned, initially he started creating people who are exactly like him in their nature. And then the sons and grandsons generated by Rudra were unlimited in number. Rudranam Rudra Srishtanam Samantat Grashatam Jagat. Nishamya Asankyaya Yasho Yutan Prajapati Asankataha. So Rudra started creating such kind of living entities who are now Samantat Grashatam Jagat. Grashatam means what? Boom. Like an elephant you swallow. If you give elephant food, you have seen how they are feeding elephants? One big ball of rice, so much rice. And tuck, you put it in the mouth of the elephant, boom. One shot it will go inside the stomach. So these entities which Lord Shiva created, they are eating up the entire universe only with their activities. Asurik Pravrati, Bhuta Ganas, they are called. Shiva's creations and Shiva's associates are called Bhuta Ganas. Bhuta Gana means what? Bhut means what? Bhut means ghost. Very ghostly people. Just like, for example, when we hear our Puranas, like Ramayana, Mahabharata, in fact there are so many descriptions of Asuras. Right? Kumbhakarna, his diet, the story of Kumbhakarna, why he is made to sleep. Because if he wakes up, then you cannot feed him. He wants so much food, so much of service. So that, oh, you sleep. Kumbhakarna, you don't wake up, you sleep. Similarly, there was Asura. In Krishna book it is there, Bhasmasura. So he did so much tapasya. And then he got the boon from Lord Shiva. Prabhupada says Shiva is Ashutosha. Ashutosha means one who very easily satisfies his devotees. So knowing very well this fellow is a crooked fellow, Ashutosha told, okay, chalo. So he wanted a boon that anybody whom he touches with his hands will be reduced to ashes. And as soon as Lord Shiva granted this boon, this Bhasmasura immediately tried to touch Shiva only. And Shiva had to run. In the Krishna book, the story, Prabhupada very nicely described this last time. Shiva is running in different planets, different lokas. From Bhuloka to Swargaloka to Pataloka, this fellow is following everywhere. Main chodunga nahi tumko. I want to test it out. And then from there Vishnu is seeing and laughing. What is happening there? Oh, this Shiva, I have told him 101 times. Doesn't listen. So then, finally, Shiva is getting tired. Then Vishnu says, no, no, I will not allow Shiva to become victimized like this, I have to involve myself. Then Shiva takes the beautiful form of Mohini. That is the appearance of Krishna in the Mohini Rupa. Where Asuras, you see how they are so easy to trap. Because they are governed by modes of ignorance and passion. When somebody is controlled and managed by modes of ignorance and passion, then we can deal with that person very easily. Because when modes and passion, you are driven by modes of passion and ignorance, what happens? What does Krishna say? What does Krishna say? In the Gita, what does Krishna say? What will mode of passion and ignorance do? Krishna says, one who is influenced by Rajasic and Tamoguna, Kama, Krodha, Yesha, Rajo, Guna, Samudmaha, Mahashanam, Mahapapma, Vidyena, Mevairanam. And then Krishna goes further. And then Krishna says that when uncontrolled anger, uncontrolled passion overcomes the living entity, then he loses the sense of rationality. He loses the sense of reason. And then he starts behaving like a fool. Where is that verse? I forget that verse. Krishna says in these few verses how intelligence we lose. When you lose intelligence, then you cannot win a battle. So, Krishna says, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsan Sangasteshopajayat Sangat Sanjayate Kama Kama Krodho Vijayate. This is that verse where Krishna says, while contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment from them, and from such attachment lust develops, and from lust anger arises. Then Krishna goes further, and then Krishna says, Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibramaha, smriti bramshat buddhinasho, buddhinashat pradashyati. What happens? From anger, complete delusion arises. From delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material. So you see, sense of your memory, it's like you want to fight. Now, like even like say you want to do you want to fight also, say you are doing physical fight, some karate, kung fu fight you are doing. But if you are overcome by anger, even certain poses you will forget, which means you will lose the battle. So even to fight also you should be very calm. Or that's why it is called controlled aggression. If you have to be aggressive also, that aggression should be controlled. It is not uncontrolled aggression. Whereas sometimes modes of passion and ignorance will make you uncontrolled aggression. And that time you lose all sensibility of what is happening, what is the issue there. Issue becomes secondary. You actually came here to solve that issue. But then that issue becomes secondary, something else takes over. You cannot control that. That is why, in all these things, we say basic common sense. Like Chanakya Pandit says, one should not give instructions to Murkha. Somebody whom you know he is a fool. If you give him instruction, finally he will make you more angry. He will make you so frustrated in life. Of course, in Vaishnava understanding, in fact even in Krishna, in the Bhagavad Gita also says this. Krishna says that, my dear Arjuna, this supreme truth in the 18th chapter, Krishna says, should never be told to abhaktas. The truth of devotional service should not be revealed at all to non-devotees. But yet, devotees take this risk and preach. Because Vaishnava is paradukka dukhi. He gives an opportunity for murkhas also. Okay, no problem, I will get frustrated. It's like Haridas Thakur and who was it? Haridas Thakur, Nityananda Prabhu. When they see Jagai and Madai, they are pakka fully drunken people. And Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, when they see the commotion on the road that is happening, they ask, what is happening? Then the people said, "Arey, wo to daru pi ke jo halla macha raha hai, nautanki kar rahe hai." So then immediately Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, they say, "Oh really? So such a fallen soul." Their thinking is like that. So such a fallen soul, let us liberate, let us go. Now this we cannot imitate. But exalted devotees like Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu, when they went there, you could see the consequence of their going there. The most fallen souls like Jagai and Madai, they liberated them. They became pure devotees because of the association of these great souls like Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu. The whole story is described very beautifully in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada, he went to New York's Bowery, stayed with the hippies, mlechas, very low class people. But yet, staying with those mlechas, Prabhupada created a worldwide Krishna conscious organization. These are exceptions. Very big exceptions. We cannot be imitated like this. If, for example, in our case, if we take, we should be so careful. Just like personally itself for me, like all of you know, last 4-5 months, one after another, so many problems I am having. My health is not good. Something or the other is coming. Now when I was analyzing why my health has become so, my lifestyle had become very bad. It's like, how did my lifestyle become bad? It's like in the ashram when we are there, we all eat by 6:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. By 9:30, 10 o'clock we are all asleep. Now I was seeing, I was travelling left, right and centre. Night 2 o'clock I am sitting in Rourkela railway station or some other thing. My sleep pattern has changed. In the night I am not getting sleep. Continuously over the last 2 years, so much change in the pattern. And I am not so spiritually elevated to take this kind of stress and strain like how Srila Prabhupada took. So, like for example, Prabhupada says, even in our Krishna conscious service, we must not do, what is that called? Ativrishti, no, what is that? Too much endeavor, what do we call that? Ati parishram, not. Too much parishrama we should not do. Beyond a certain point, we cannot take up certain things. We go, let's like for example, I was seeing, going to new places, no prasadam there, you are eating in the hotel there, bhoga, you are not getting any proper food there. Your timings are totally haywire. No sadhana, no devotee association. All this continuously for the 2 years you have abused your body. Now we can say Prabhupada travelled all over the world 7 times continuously. Prabhupada is doing like this. Now that is our motivation. But we should also see our level. Whether my body, my consciousness can take this kind of stress. You are meeting all kinds of karmi people. So your routine gets affected. Then slowly I started realizing I'm sleeping every day, writing mails, you have to handle so many things. You have to material world, you have to work, you have to understand material knowledge also you should have. You cannot work without material knowledge. You are improving that aspect also. So sleeping at 12 o'clock, trying to get up at 4 o'clock. Hardly 3 to 4 hours, it's like a Goswami doing when we are in the level of an ordinary neophyte devotee. every day, not one day, 2 day, continuously when you do all these kind of things, your body starts reacting. And then various organs of your body starts collapsing one after another, one after another, one after another. And then you wake up, my God, what's happening? If I eat anything, I am vomiting, or I am just passing stool, or I am feeling so weak. You cannot. Prabhupada says, first you save yourself, then you try to save others. So, those kind of principles, like when we are quoting also, people like Haridas Thakur, Nityananda Prabhu, or even Prabhupada, when we give their examples, they are very inspiring, they are very motivating. But yet we cannot imitate them. We cannot blindly do certain things. We must know our level. So sometimes in the course of our Krishna conscious preaching, discharge of duties, so we can go overboard. And then when we go overboard, we realize we are not capable of handling that kind of pressures, that kind of stress and strain. So, we must know, okay, we must have the right regimen. Okay, once in a while we are going, just like in the Kartik Mass we go, we are traveling, we are going. Twice, thrice you can do all these kind of things. One Janmashtami festival we did like that. One Gaur Purnima we had to do. We cannot say, I will sit in the ashram, I will follow my regimen, 6:30 means I will leave at 6:30. If you tell a temple commander also will beat you up. He will come and do service when tomorrow festival is there. You understand, but it cannot go on day in, day out. We have to come back to our regular life. As human beings, we need 5 to 6 hours of proper sleep. Proper time, right? We cannot have daily feast. We cannot eat anything and everything that is there. God can eat. Radha Krishna can digest anything. His liver, his digestive system is so powerful. Whatever Rajbhog is there, whatever we cook, everything. If we try to eat all those things, we will start just like devotees are suffering. Sometimes we overeat. In ashram, sometimes everything is cooked for the Lord and some prasadam comes. No. We must restrict ourselves. Simple. Our rice, dal, sabji, salad, some fruits. Everything in limited proportion when we eat, our health also will be proper. If we go overboard, eat too much of the fried food, sweets, everything is available. Krishna makes it available. Nothing will be lacking. But then it affects us. Right? So similarly, like for example, these are verses. Like Shiva was entrusted with a task that you create your people. But then Shiva made a full tamasha, nautanki people, so many that Brahma said, what is happening? What is happening to my place? Please, Shiva, you stop your activity for some time. Brahma told, he raised his hand and he clearly told, Shiva, just before this we were reading verses wherein Brahma is telling Shiva, you have to start populating. He started telling him what his duties are, where he should be there, where you should live, everything. Brahma has given instructions. But suddenly, post the activities of Lord Shiva, Brahma said, Shiva, please pause. And then then Brahma told Lord Shiva, please you go to the Himalayas. You go there and sit on the top and you meditate. Don't come here. When we need you, we'll call you. Just like, for example, in the political setup that we have in our country, like local, we have the police who takes care of the security establishment in a state. At a local level it is, like for example, we are locals, we are civilians living here. So the civilians, if there is a problem, if there is a security issue in their life, they have to approach the police for seeking solace, right? But then, in our setup, if Pakistan attacks, will we send the police from here to go and fight the Pakistanis? Or go and fight the Chinese? No. That to deal with that Pakistan and China and all, this police will get smashed, that's all. If these Chutku police people go to fight with the Chinese and the Pakistanis, where will they be there? There is a separate force for that, which is called the army. They are trained much more rigorously than the so-called police and all those things. Their training is far superior. So the army deals with them. Then there are intermediate forces. Some terrorist comes. They are not army. They are not Pakistani army people. Terrorist fellows. Army is too much involved in all these. So they are called something called a CRPF, Central Reserve Police Force. It is they who mainly handle all these terrorists and all these kind of fellows. And that's a separate force. Then there is, there is no war, but somebody has to guard the border. They are called the BSF. They are Border Security Force. You see how many layers are there. Each has a role. Then there is some sudden disturbance, which is something happening here. Then there is called a Rapid Action Force. They are called RAF. Like this, there are so many forces. Then there are special protectees. Some VIPs is there. Their security has to be. You don't call the army for one fellow. Army will come and stand for that fellow. No. There is a separate protection, which is called the SPD. So like this, you see, there are different layers of protective people. And each person has a role to play. Now sometimes people say, hey, army ko bulao yaar, army ko bulao. Army sab theek kar denge. If the army comes here, we will tell the army people, please go away, Baba. Because the way our police will deal with Lati, the army people will deal with differently. We will not be able to handle them also. Just like, for example, when the elections happened, the local state elections happened, now in 2019, that time we were told to give food to the various armed forces, because Chhattisgarh is a little disturbed state. Lot of Naxalites and so many things are there in issues. So to handle them, to conduct an election, lot of force is required properly. That means people can, without fear, come and cast their ballot. To give people that feeling that no, nothing will happen, you can come, and so lot of force is required. And not just police force, you need more strong force. So nearly 5,000, 10,000 only army people came in trains. And the train was coming, first the train used to come here, they will land in Bhilai, and from Bhilai in different lorries, and this one they will be sent to Bastar, Dantewada, all those different kind of places according to the requirements. So when they land up here, they didn't have food. because so many people are coming. So the government told us, give them the food. So our Akshay Patra boys were telling, they took the vehicle and they went to give the food. As soon as the vehicle goes there, that army 6-footer, hey, our boys have never dealt with this. प्रभु हमें डर लगता है उधर जाने का. कहाँ वो इतना उनके पास बड़ा बड़ा गन है, वो हमको कहाँ मार देगा. So they are so difficult to deal with. So suddenly Shiva created those kind of bhutaganas in civilian areas where normal people are there living. Suddenly people are seeing bhutas. Oh wow, come on, I'll eat you. So Brahma said, boss, please, we don't want to hear you go to Himalayas and sit down. I'll find you a place there. So sent away. Lord Shiva, we need you. We need. But not right now. Right now, you go, you and your this Bhutagana gang, no, you be there in the ice. Ice will cool you. That's why Shiva is sitting in the ice. Because थोड़ा ठंडा लगने तो यार. Too hot man to handle. He is useful, very important person. Because just imagine without the army, what will happen? The army is violent. We need a violent people also to run the affairs of this universe. In fact, if you see the Naga Babas, how many of us, we all went to Kumbh Mela? We saw the Naga Babas. And when we went on that, what was that main day we went? Mauni Amavasya. We went on Mauni Amavasya, which was the main Kumbh day. So we saw, when we were going, we saw, no, in that various chariots, with sword and talwar, they are running. Right? You know, actually, these Naga Babas are meant to protect the Vedic culture. They were created by Shankaracharya. There is a purpose. Sometimes the Naga Babas are required, they are violently prone. Sometimes we sitting here, we think, what is this Naga Baba? What role does he has to play? He is smoking ganja and sitting there. But actually it is Shankaracharya who has created these Naga Babas. See, everybody has a Prakriti. So they are that Prakriti, so at least engage them in some activity. Man, it's like in the army also, when they give an order, when your commander gives you order, sir, is this right, sir? Is this wrong, sir? Should I really fire the goli? You cannot ask such kind of questions. If the army fellow comes here, I am sitting here and giving Bhagavatam class, sir, ये तो साधु है ना, उसको क्यों मारना है? Army person cannot ask all these kind of things. गोली मारो, आपका मारना पड़ेगा. That is the job of an army person. You have to take orders. In army, even recruitment is done like that. Like for example, if I go and appear for the army exam and I go for the interview, the army fellow will tell, hey, ये ज़्यादा होशियार आदमी है, इसको लेना ही नहीं army में, because he will not obey order like that. He will counter question you. They will not admit me. They are very pakka. They see the nature of the person. In army, if you want to get into the army, then you should be simply obedient. बुद्धि तुम्हारा काम नहीं है, बुद्धि ऑफिसर का काम है. In army it's like that. The rank decides. The rest of them have to just follow. Whether he should be killed, not killed, fire has to be give an order, that thinking, the authorized person only can do that. Not anybody and everybody. A soldier cannot ask the question, should I kill, should I not kill, is it wrong to kill? Nothing. When the order comes, you have to shoot, you have to shoot. That is the way the army discipline is. And it is needed. If everybody starts thinking, Prabhupada says Shudra cannot do all such kind of things. Shudra has to carry out the work of the order of the higher society. So it is very important to understand that there is a, like Prabhupada says, Prabhupada gives the example of monkey. Prabhupada says an active monkey is good or an inactive monkey is good. Which is better? Huh? Inactive monkey is always better than an active monkey. Because monkey means its activity is monkey type. बंदर की करतूत, डिटेल नो, बंदर की करतूत. तो बंदर की करतूत क्या है? बंदर की करतूत, सो बेटर बंदर जो है वो सोते रहे, शांत रहे, तो जो है हम सब लोग भी शांत रह सकते. So similarly, these Bhutaganas, once they are put into them, they are like bandar. Then they will make everything chaos. That is what is happening. So Bhagavatam is saying, Brahma is saying to Lord Shiva, please, jada ho gaya, please now, don't want, your presence is not required right now. You go back. Okay? If there is any questions, comments, please let me know. Sometimes even in life, it is like that. Just like a very good material situation. Supposing we are in very good material situation, but if we are in bad spiritual condition or bad spiritual position, or the other way, if we are in bad spiritual position but in very good material condition, both these things are not appropriate. It is better to be very good in spiritual condition even at the cost of a bad material condition of life. Right? तो ठीक है, कुछ हमारी जो भौतिक जीवन जो है इतना अच्छा नहीं है, लेकिन आध्यात्मिक जीवन तो अच्छा है, चल रहा है, बढ़िया. That type of a situation is far better than हमारी भौतिक जीवन बहुत अच्छा है लेकिन हमारी आध्यात्मिक जीवन जो है ठीक नहीं है. That is very dangerous. That is why we have examples of devotees constantly reminding us. Just like Kunti is saying, when we chanted Kunti's prayers in the morning the other day, she is saying, Vipadahas santuta sashvat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yari. That Krishna, please give us that vipada so that we can always have punar darshanam of you. These are examples. So we should aim for that. Doesn't matter. Whereas you see, Prabhupada always said that, even when he went to the Western world, he gave this comparison. He said, in the Western world, you people have great material infrastructures, but spiritually very poor. Spiritually, you people are very, very bad at. That is why there is no satisfaction. Vacuum is there in people's minds there. In spite of having materially good things. That's why Krishna constantly says, Brahma Bhavana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. Even if you go to the highest planet of material world, yet you will come back. We will stop here. अनंतराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की